Well, Grand Rising, fam. I know y'all are probably dead asleep to the world right now. And it's a little after 4 a.m. And the only reason I am on this video is because I could not go to sleep. I got in about 10 o'clock last night after my little hustle and flow on Uber. Took a shower, did some scrolling as usual on TikTok, snacked on some chips and queso just now. Still wide awake. Even sipped on a cool drink. Oh yeah, I sipped on a wine cooler. And still did not go to sleep. But anyway, enough about me. What I came on this video for, I wanted to share this particular TikTok that I came across this morning. And this was an interview from the radio show called The Breakfast Club. I'm pretty sure you guys heard of it. It's a very popular radio station out of New York. And it has the hosts are like Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Jess Hilarious, the comedian chick. And the other lady, I forgot her name. Forgive me, I don't know all the host names. Anywho, the reason I want to share this particular interview is because it features Stephanie Mills, Patti Labelle, and Chaka Khan. They're on their press tour run to broadcast the Queen's tour, their concert series that they're doing right now. They're doing like multiple cities, and I believe they started this Queen's tour, I want to say like back in April, maybe June, somewhere around there. But anywho, the topic on this particular clip from this interview is the ladies discussing longevity in their careers as musicians and the discrimination they face as Black singers. Now, just know that when you watch this video, take note of the answers that Patti and Stephanie gives to the interviewers. Just take note, because when I watched this clip, I was in shock of what I heard. And Shaka was so funny. OMG. She made me laugh and cackle the whole time. Her emotions just had her steaming and boiling from the answers that Patti and Stephanie were giving. I was just like, this is comical. But yeah, take a look.
When y'all first started, did any of y'all think y'all would have these long careers that y'all would have had and still be on tour, still be in demand,
still be relevant, still be
later?
Like,
I never did.
I never did, because I was always told, dark girls don't. After a while they were like, "Oh, people are not going to promote dark girls," or anything. So I was always told, "No, you can't do it. You do it." So I was always working against that, right?
Yes.
Same thing for you, Miss Labelle. You didn't think you was going to be here?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I had an issue also with my being a Black woman with a big nose. And a friend of mine got her nose done. And I said, oh, I think I need to try that. Maybe I'll get more gigs. I tried it. I did. I have a new nose.
It was me. You can say it. I don't care.
You came to my house.
It was me. I had a nose. I had my nose done in the early 80s.
And I
went to her house for dinner. And she said, what did you do?
I said, what happened, girl? Where's your nose?
And she was like, I'm going to get one.
And I did right after I saw Stephanie.
I didn't know you got. I didn't know neither one of y'all got nose job.
Well, I had to.
And then she did. And
this wasn't
Natalie,
cute.
but God rest her. She had one too.
Natalie.
All of them do it. All them girls do it.
Yeah, but y'all don't need it. Y'all beautiful.
But that's the only thing that I've ever
cut
done.
on my shit for nothing. Excuse my French.
Go ahead.
Now you can
use all the French you want.
You could not cut me for Nathan.
But now I think I look
it,
like Shaka. Shaka and I could be sisters.
So you never had nothing done either, Shaka?
Hell no.
They say you got a BBL.
What's that?
Tell me what a BBL
A butt job.
It's a Brazilian butt lift. It's what all the young girls are doing. It's called a Brazilian butt lift.
How long has my butt been like this? My whole life.
Yes, ma'am.
I have the same behind I've always had.
So hold on, Miss Labelle, when you got the nose job, did you get more gigs? Did it change anything?
I think it did.
Really?
Because it was more pleasant to some people.
Well, more her
I mean, it was
self-esteem,
fine with
probably.
me, but when I saw my girlfriend, I said, I'm going to try that. And it
I
worked.
remember that too.
You remember? Oh, so well.
I was
And
at
I
her
didn't want
house
to
for
tell
dinner.
people that you were my inspiration because I didn't know if you wanted me to
Oh, I
talk
don't
about
care,
that.
girl.
I
No,
didn't.
I don't care.
Well, I'm talking now.
Yes.
Okay, so
tell
yeah,
her.
this is my girl. I followed her. Yes, I did.
So who did you follow? Who did you follow? 'Cause
Michael.
Michael, okay, I was gonna ask
Jackson.
that. Okay.
Yeah, Michael.
So after he got it, that's when you wanted to do it?
Yes, I went to the same doctor.
Wow.
Girl.
Miss Patti Labelle, was it when you decided that you wanted to get your nose job? I know you said you didn't like your nose personally, but were things being said to you as well?
Yes.
By who and what?
By a manager that I had at the time.
I love Shaka face. Yo, Shaka's face. The whole interview.
No,
is
no,
hilarious.
I mean her. I'm just saying.
Shaka's face is hilarious.
I can't help that.
That's all good. I love it. It's all right.
Yeah. It was a manager that I had back in the day, a white gentleman. And he said so many things to me. But whenever I sang, he said, my God. I said, is it all right if I keep this nose? You know, things like that. And he was just mean. And
Where is he? I slapped the shit out of him
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
what I
not
said.
living now. He's gone bye-bye.
Oh, he's not here
He's
no
not
more.
here no more.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all saw the video. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to share my thoughts on this. I loved how they shared, you know, how they believe that they did not think their careers would last for decades. It was very inspirational when they spoke about, you know, them, you know, going on tour and not expecting to have a lifelong career in singing. However, the thing I did not really like was when Stephanie said that, you know, she felt, you know, very insecure, seems like, of the way she looked. And the only reason why she admitted that she got a nose job done is because she said that she saw Michael Jackson had his nose job done back in the 80s. And when Patti explained that she didn't like the way she looked as a dark-skinned black woman with a big nose, she was influenced by Stephanie because Stephanie got her nose job and she figured, well, if I get my nose job done, I might get more gigs. Y'all heard that? I'm just like, it shouldn't even have to take all of that just to say I'm beautiful or I fit the narrative as a dark-skinned black woman in the industry. And it baffled me because, first of all, let me tell y'all something. I did not know that Stephanie Mills and Patti LaBelle had nose jobs done. I had no idea. First of all, I don't even pay attention to a lot of these celebrities like that. I thought their noses actually were natural. I thought that's how they always were. But when I seen an older picture of Patti LaBelle's nose, it was quite big. It was larger, probably about almost the size of my nose. And it actually made me feel a certain way because I said, well, damn, I'm light-skinned. I have a big nose. I always got teased and bullied for it as a kid in school. And I knew I would never fit the narrative of popularity because I didn't look like the other kids. But at the same token, when people ask me if I ever thought about getting a nose job and, you know, making it smaller to look pretty or fit the beautiful community of models and all this other bullshit, I said no. Because you know why? I have accepted my flaws. For a very long time, people have made me feel very minor and very small and somewhat insecure of my face because of my nose. And I have a really ugly scar, a permanent scar on the side of my nose. And that scar came from an accident I had on a scooter. Now, it's one of those, you know, those scooters you stand up on, that the ones you see downtown with all the kids that ride on top of the scooters. Is one of those. I rolled down a hill and broke my nose in 3 places, and it left me this nasty, icky scar. Now, I could have easily got a rhinoplasty done by the nose job surgeon at the VA for free to fix my nose, because it's still broken to this day, but it doesn't hurt or nothing. But when they told me if I got this nose job done and they would put my nose back in place, it would be completely different. And they also mentioned that the healing process from that nose job that they suggested that I should get to fix the broken nose fracture that I have in my nose, it would take at least 6 to 8 weeks to heal. I said 6 to 8 weeks to heal my face? They were like, yeah, you're going to have lots of bruising, you're going to have lots of swelling and all this other BS, and it's going to take a long time to heal. And I thought long and hard about it. And you know what I told myself? I said, no, I'm not going to bother, because all that's going to do is going to make myself hate myself even more. And probably later regret, why did I get a nose job done? You know, and I was just like, wow. Could you imagine 2 very beautiful Black women like Patti LaBelle and Stephanie Mills, very powerful, legendary Black women, still selling out arenas today in 2025, were so highly insecure of their noses? Of all the things in the world, the last thing you should be worried about is your damn nose. That's just how I feel. I mean, to each his own. Some people get BBLs, Brazilian butt lifts. Some people get, you know, facelifts, cheek lifts, cleft lips, whatever you call it. People be Botoxing, keep their skin tight to feel young. It's ridiculous what people go through to make themselves feel pretty. And I was just like, I would have never guessed in a million years that both these very beautiful Black women, who are well into their 70s, by the way. Stephanie Mills is damn near 70, and Patti LaBelle is 81. And they got nose jobs back in the day when they were younger. It bothered me. I couldn't believe what they said. The way that they described themselves, the way that they said that people approached them and, you know, try to influence them and stuff of being pretty and what it felt to be pretty with a nose job, because everybody was doing it. Y'all heard what they said? They said everybody was doing it back in the 80s. Everybody was getting a nose job. It was a thing back then. But you know what was funny? When Chaka gave them that dirty ass look, and she looked at them sideways like, everybody, not me. Chaka slipped and said, shit, I don't know what you talking about, but ain't nobody cutting nothing on me. She said, ain't no Nathan slicing and dicing up my precious face. 'Cause honey, this is my original nose. And she said, I ain't had nothing slice and dice on my body, and I never will. And I said, kudos to Chaka. Because Chaka stood on business. Not business, business. You know how the old Black people say it. Chaka was standing on business. Because she was basically letting them mugs know, I don't give a damn what these 2 people say. I don't care what these women say over here. They act like it's so normal to just blurt out, yeah, I had a nose job. Everybody was doing it. We were doing everything we could to fit in and do this and da-da-da-da-da. Chaka was like, hell no. Hell no, ain't nobody touch me. I loved it when she said that. She said, hell no, ain't nobody touching my precious face or nothing. And then Charlamagne was being a messy boots with his old crusty ass talking about, so you never had a BBL? And she said, what's a BBL? Brazilian butt lift. She said, have you seen my butt? This is the same butt I've had since I was a kid. She said, my butt always been big. She was like, get the fuck out of here. She said, my butt always been big. Like, one thing I like about Chaka, and by the way, Chaka is an Aries. She has very big Aries energy. I can always tell because I knew she was a fire sign. That's why I like her so much, because I'm a fire sign, but I'm a Scorpio. So, yeah, y'all know how Scorpios get down. But yeah, Shaka don't give a damn. She gonna give it to you real. She gonna give it to you straight, and she not gonna sugarcoat shit. She don't care where the fuck she at. She gonna be like, look, I don't give a damn what they say. I feel just pretty being myself and not having nobody touch shit on me. And one thing I appreciated about Shaka was the fact that she did not bow down to the BS, the tactics that they try to pull. Because you know how the radio stations are and all these TV hosts and shit. They try to put word salad in people's mouths and, you know, try to make it into something bigger than what it is. And Shaka was like, nah, ain't nobody slicing and dicing shit on me. She said, you got me all the way fucked up. You think I'm going to have a goddamn nose job? And I said, you know why I love Shaka? She really inspires me a lot. And I really love her energy, her passion for the arts. And this is why I love all of her songs, because she is just such a genuine person. She doesn't do shit to keep up with the Joneses. She has her own charisma, her own characteristics, whatever, her own persona. She has her own identity. You could clearly tell in that room that they were sitting in who was being authentic and who really wasn't being too authentic about themselves. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I do like Stephanie Mills. I do like a couple of her songs. I don't really know a whole bunch of her songs, but I do like a couple of her songs. Patti LaBelle, she's okay. I like a couple of her songs too, but I'm not a huge Patti LaBelle fan. But let me tell you something. The energy shifted so fast in that room, I could clearly see the line between what was fake and what was authentic. And baby, Patti and Stephanie, oh God, they'd like two peas in a pod. Fake as hell. Shaka was real. There's nothing scripted about Shaka. If they told Shaka to read a teleprompter, you think she's gonna do it? She's gonna be, fuck no. You normally when people go on press tours and they do these bullshit interviews to broadcast their tours, like their concert series or whatever, their shows or podcasts, they normally don't cuss. But for Shaka to break the ice with the cussing, OMG. See, I thought Shaka was going to stay quiet the whole time. I didn't think she was going to speak at all, because Patti and Stephanie were chopping it up the whole time. But when Shaka interjected with, shit, ain't nobody slicing me up. I'm proud of my brown, beautiful black skin. Shaka went in on that ass, okay? And this is why I love Shaka, because she keeps it real. She keeps it 1,000%, and she don't sugarcoat nothing. And this is what makes her such a great artist. See, there's a difference between a performer and an artist. Yes, they're in the same category. Yes, it's the same as being a singer, musician, whatever. But there's a big difference when you say, I'm a performer versus I'm an artist. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I know it sounds silly. So you know how people perform things, right? You look at the origin. Perform is to act, to put on a show. And that's what they do. All of them put on a great show, no doubt about it. But when I think about perform or performer, I feel like motherfuckers are tap dancing for massa. Oh yeah. When people say I'm a performer, I can't even talk. It's too damn early. You're tap dancing. When people say I'm an artist, oh, you are straight talent, boo boo. Anybody that tells anybody or tells you specifically that they're an artist, not a musician, not a singer, not a performer, not a vocalist, but an artist, that's different. It's different. It's different energy. I'm trying to tell y'all. When Chaka said in another clip that I saw in the Breakfast Club that she ran away from home when she was 16 and she already knew what she wanted to do with her life. And her parents asked her, well, her father asked her if she wanted to go to college, and she was just like, no. And she was like, but you can read and write and you're brilliant. She's like, I know, but I don't want to do that. That's not in my blood. I don't care about college. I want to do something with people. And I knew that I wanted to be in entertainment. That's what Chaka said. She never said, I always dreamed about being a singer. I always dreamed about being rich. No, she said, I always knew I wanted to be in entertainment. And I wanted to be an artist. Not a musician, not a performer, not a singer, an artist. That's a different story. That is a different vibration. That is a different level. Let me explain something to you. When you hear the names like Michael Jackson or Prince, what did they call themselves? Artist. They never said performer. They never said musician. They always said, I'm an artist. Every time they spoke in interviews, if you pay attention, each one of them said, I'm an artist. None of them said, oh, I always dreamed about being a singer. No, I'm an artist. It's in my nature. I was destined to be an artist. And that's what Chaka said in the other clip. She basically explained that after she ran away from home when she was 16 and, she started doing different, gigs or whatever, she knew what the fuck she wanted to do. At point blank period. She said she wasn't going to let anybody tell her otherwise. She didn't care about the naysayers. And she wanted to go after her dream and chase it. And that's exactly what she did. And I'm just like, wow, that was a very powerful clip. Like when she said, I'm an artist, and I knew what the fuck I wanted to be, blew my mind. And I said, this is why I love Chaka Khan. I resonate so much with her because she has so much energy, drive, passion for the arts. And me, I have the same. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of drive. I have a lot of passion for the arts, especially acting. Do I want to pursue it full time? It would be nice. It's a dream of mine. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I would love to do it full time, yes. Because it's something that I really like and it's something that I really enjoy. But it's not an easy journey. And I know it's going to take some more practice. I know it's going to take some more training to land auditions. But eventually I will get there. But yeah, I just thought it was fascinating to hear the different conversations among Patti and Stephanie about the beauty within themselves as dark-skinned Black women trying to make it in the industry back in the 80s, while Chaka is sitting in a corner looking at them like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm good over here, boo-boo. I don't need no magical surgery to tell somebody that I'm the prize or I'm the artist. She said, I knew I was the motherfucking prize. I knew I was the artist. It's like she spoke her future into existence. And I could feel the power through the video, the way she spoke about everything that she did, about every decision that she made. She had a reason for it. It wasn't some bullshit she pulled out of her ass one day and said, I'm going to go sing karaoke. Oh, this is what I'm going to do full time as a career. No, she basically said, I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and I knew I wanted to work for the people because I like being around people and I like making changes in the universe. And she even explained that her parents were artists. She said both of her parents were in the music industry, and she said she had no idea, but they were broke growing up and they were struggling artists. They were trying to make it, but they never made it. And just seeing all her accomplishments, it just goes beyond me. Like, people don't understand, but Chaka has had a lot of duets with a lot of powerful figures who are not alive today. God rest their souls. I saw a clip on Instagram earlier this morning, or earlier last night rather, with her and Miles Davis, the great jazz musician. And she was singing bebop and jazz. And I didn't even know Chaka did jazz. I knew that she did like R&B and soul, but I never knew that she did jazz. It just blew my mind how many different genres that she can do. And she sounds hella amazing doing it. The octaves, the vocals on point, perfect. Like, she is a trained natural artist. And she is a true definition of what authenticity looks like in the music industry. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not a fan of Chaka, oh well, too bad, so sad. But that is my auntie. I love Auntie Chaka. We're not blood related, but I call her Auntie Chaka. But all I'm saying is to say this. Take heed and take note of what a lot of these famous singers say about themselves that will truly tell on them what they really think about themselves and how they view the world, or how they believe that the world views them as a person. Just like Patti and Stephanie explained, they thought that the white man wanted them to look a certain way to get their audience, to get their music out there, unfortunately, and that's very sad. There are black women right now, and even African women, and even Jamaican women bleaching themselves, making their skin lighter to appeal to a white audience. Look at Beyonce. You see how pale her skin is? Beyonce bleaches the fuck out of her skin. Allegedly. Because I ain't trying to get sued, because they will come back and sue your ass. But I believe that she bleaches her skin because she's pale as snow. Beyonce ain't never been that damn pale. I'm gonna be honest. I think she's skin bleaching. But there are a lot of musicians, artists, singers, whatever you want to call them, performers, that will go through lengths to define beauty because they believe that the world sees them in a different way. And they don't believe that they fit the narrative. So they will do whatever they can to fit the narrative, to appeal to a certain audience, to cross over to different genres, to get album sales up, whatever they can do. And it's really sad. And I was just really discouraged when I learned that Stephanie Mills and Patti LaBelle didn't feel pretty about themselves until they got nose jobs done. I was shocked. I was very shocked. And they only did it because they said that everybody was doing it and they were just trying to boost their sales or whatever the hell, and trying to boost their, their character as a dark-skinned artist. Because dark skin was not in back in the day. If you think about it, light skin was in. But I'm just like, y'all could have did better. And y'all didn't have to do that. It wasn't necessary. The nose jobs were unnecessary, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that too is unresolved trauma. I feel like when people do that to themselves, they might need therapy. Now, I can understand if you do some type of reconstructive surgery to like where you had a horrible accident and like your nose is crooked like this or some shit like that, or if your mouth is twisted from like a stroke or something, then yeah, go ahead, get reconstructive surgery because you're fixing yourself. But when you have a perfectly shaped face, a perfectly shaped nose, and you just want to get rid of it and get a brand new nose job because of the sake of the industry and because the way people perceive you to the world and you think it's cool, you have a lot of unresolved trauma and there's a lot of flaws. And a lot of the times, especially women cannot accept their flaws. Now, I'm not going to lie. I have flaws too. I mean, do I want to fix them? Hell yeah, but I don't want surgery either. I'm very careful with the things I want to get fixed. And I do the research and I do the work. For example, I'm a big back right now. I'm working on weight loss. I'm weighing my options. I'm looking at the GLP-1. I'm looking at all these other placebos that assist me with weight loss versus having a surgery. Because you know why? Surgery can go wrong. And doing a gastric bypass surgery is a very high risk, especially if you are overweight. Because let me tell you something. I thought about it, not gonna lie. But then I said, I don't want to risk myself dying on the table because a lot of women die on the table and don't realize the risks that come with that. And I'd rather do it the natural way and be old school and call it a day. And I know it's going to be a challenge and I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to push myself and I'm going to do it. I did it before. Last year, I dropped 40 pounds in the summer because I walked my ass off in the park. And I watched what I ate faithfully and I meal prepped. But I've been slacking. I'm not going to lie. And I ain't going to tell y'all what I weigh. But what I will say, though, is that I plan to get back on track. But just know, if you feel like you're not beautiful on the outside, just pray about it. And just know that you are loved. Somebody out there loves you for who you are. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to these celebrities and their bullshit BBLs and implant surgeries. Don't listen to none of that shit. Because let me tell you something. When you get old and gray, baby, that shit is not going to hold up well. When you get old and gray, them titties going to go flat. And that ass gonna go flat. They gonna start hanging, and then that belly gonna go flat. It's start hanging. If it ain't already hanging now, it's gonna get worse. But once you get wrinkle status, there's only so much that you can do. Because I look at it like this: if God made you a certain way, and you're not happy about yourself because of the way that God made you, then you need to do a deep dive within yourself. Talk to a therapist and figure out a way to overcome your flaws without butchering your body. It's just that simple. But people don't want to accept getting proper help or any type of therapy, or people are ashamed, honestly, to talk about their flaws because they don't want people judging them, talking about them, And I get it. Hell, I get judged all the time. You think I give a damn? No. I get talked about all the time. Do I care? No. I used to be one of those people that was super sensitive, where I cared about what people thought about me all the time, and I did all this bullshit people pleasing and all this other crap. But now, oh no, you ain't gonna catch me do a motherfucking thing. The only people pleasing I do is myself. I please myself by doing self-care to make myself feel good. And I do random road trips sometimes, solo trips, to treat myself. Because I'm not going to sit up here and mope in a corner or ball up in a corner and cry about the way I look because of what somebody said or how the world perceives me as ugly, quote unquote, because of my fat ass nose. And to be honest, it used to make me mad. I'm not going to lie. It used to piss me off when people always made fun of my nose. But now that I'm a grown-ass woman and I see people that look way uglier than me and they have a whole-ass man with a bag of kids and a house, I don't feel so bad after all. Because I said, well, damn, here I am thinking I'm the ugly duckling. But then you got motherfuckers out here looking like my 600-pound life with a whole-ass nigga and a car and a fucking trailer, and they're happy. And I said, if they can be happy and have a whole man and whatever and live life in a trailer, I can be happy too and do the same exact thing. Because, I mean, to me, it's just the principle. It's the principle of knowing your worth. And that's the problem with a lot of women now. A lot of women don't know what their worth is. They wait for other people to validate them. And this is why I try to tell people, you cannot seek validation from other motherfuckers that do not care about your well-being. They do not care about your flaws. They do not care about your status. Hell, they don't even care about your life. Period. People will talk about you like a dog until the day you stop breathing and you leave this earth. Then show up at your funeral and say nothing but sweet nothings and kindness and act like everything was all sugar and candy and roses and cake. But when you were breathing and walking amongst this earth, they talked about you like a damn dog. People do it all the time, you know? And I tell people, you cannot allow people to waste your space and seek validation. You cannot people please people that have nothing going on for themselves. A lot of people out here have a lot of low self-esteem and they're very bitter and they're very jealous. I see it all the time. And they will intentionally try to manipulate you and gaslight you to make you feel like you're the bad person because they feel bad about themselves. Because you know what they're doing? It's called projection. They're projecting their insecurities and their flaws onto you because they don't feel good about themselves. That's all that is. But yeah, I'm sorry I took so long with this video. I did not mean to make a 30-minute plus video. I just went on a whole tangent. I can go on and on forever and ever. But I do need to try to lay down because I've literally been up since yesterday and I really need to get some sleep. But I will talk to you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But I can't even talk. I'm so tired. Damn it. I'm so tongue-tied. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments and what are your thoughts about insecurities and flaws and what do you define beauty as? Do you believe that surgery is necessary to make a person happy? Or do you believe that surgery is unnecessary to make a person happy? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, all right? Y'all have a good day, a good morning, a good weekend, a good Saturday. I will see you guys later. I'm going to try to lay my black ass down now. Peace out.